Good morning all. In today's class we are going to discuss about the topic non-flowering plants, which covers page number 78, 79. So what is this non-flowering plants? See, usually the plants which cannot produce that flowers or seeds, that is called as non-flowering plants, and based on their nature or appearance it can be divided into three types. So one is algae, mosses and ferns. So what is this algae means? A thallus which can be well differentiated into root, stem and leaf. It means a thallus. What is the thallus? See, on the water surface a layer, green color layer, which is called as algae, and that form it is also called as thallus. And this can be differentiated into root, stem and leaves. It can be seen in few algae. Okay, that is what it is differentiated. And also these are all mostly lives only in water, and some algae it will be unicellular, and most of that it will be multicellular in nature. Okay, for that it is example Kara. And the next one it is mosses. So here this mosses, it is not like algae, it cannot be differentiated into true root, stem and leaf. Okay, in these plants we cannot see roots, stems and also leaves. Here these plants are also water living plants, but it needs moisture to complete its life cycle. From that outside it want that moisture content, so it is called as amphibious plants. So what does that meaning means? If the plants, though the plants they are living in water, they are just absorbing the moisture content from that outside. Okay, so both it is needed to complete their life cycle. That is what it is called as amphibious. So what is the meaning of amphibians? Amphibians means they will live both in water and land. Okay, in such a way, though these plants they are living in water, they will be observing the moisture content from that outside. Okay, and also these plants will not have any vascular tissues. Okay, that vascular tissues means it will be used for the conduction of water and food. Okay, for just conducting, it means conducting means what? For transferring. If the root it is observing, from that it can be transferred to the other parts of the body by these vascular tissues. But here there is no any vascular tissues in these mosses. Okay, for that example it is funaria. And the next one it is ferns. So here it can be divided, sorry, it can be differentiated into separate root, stem and leaves. Okay, so in these plants they can be seen, and in this the leaves of this plant it may be large or smaller in size. The size it may be different, and also the specialized vascular tissues are found. Okay, here that vascular tissues it is found for what purpose? For conducting that water and food materials. And then these are all also considered as first land plants. Okay, which grows well in shady, moist and cool places. Okay, mostly in that very moist places these plants they will grow, which is also considered as first land plants. So these are all the plants which grows first on land. So for that example it is an adiantum. And then so the next one it is gymnosperms. Okay, gymnosperms. And the next one it is angiosperms. So what is this gymnosperms means? See, the nature of the plant, the plant body it will be perennial, woody, evergreen with the true root, stem and leaves. So here usually the root, stem and leaves, everything it will be found. And also it has that vascular tissues. Okay, the vascular tissues, the two main vascular tissues are xylem and phloem. So these two are considered as two important vascular tissues which is used for the conduction of water and food. Okay, for conducting it means for transferring this food and water, these tissues it will be normally found on this plants. So here these plants are usually naked. Here that ovules it will be naked. What does mean by that ovules naked means? Ovules naked means nothing but, see, the ovules it will be present inside that ovary, which is converted as a seed, which is converted into seed after the fertilization process. Okay, this we have learned in the first term. Okay, so in that life cycle we have seen this. Here that ovules inside part, okay, which is converted into seed only, that will be present, and outer covering that ovary it will be absent. Okay, though that ovary it is absent, it is called as ovules naked. Only that ovules alone it will be present, and then they do not produce fruits. So obviously, if the ovary it is absent, fruits cannot be produced. Only the seed alone it will be there. Okay, fruits it will be not there in these plants. So seed are naked. Seeds will be naked. So for that example, it is Pinus cycas. Okay, so these are all the examples for this gymnosperms. And if we take angiosperms, here the plant body it will be not differentiated. Okay, and then produce flowers with 4 holes. So here the flowers it will be produced which will be with the calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. So everything it will be present as usual like a flowering plant. And then here the female reproductive organ. In the female, what it will be there? Ovary is inside the flower which develops into a fruit, and ovule, okay, which develops into a seed. So everything like a complete flower, everything it will be present in this angiosperms. And then that well developed vascular system also with the xylem vessels and phloem. Okay, these things also it will be present, and based on cotyledon number it can be also divided into monocotyledons and dicotyledons. So the cotyledons while growing itself we can identify based on that cotyledon number whether it is monocotyledon or dicotyledon. So in such a way, based on their number we can just classify it into again two types. One is monocotyledon and dicotyledon. Monocotyledon means with a single cotyledon, okay, and dicotyledon two cotyledons if it is present means that is called as dicotyledons. And then here your questions what you are going to learn and write is question number 23, what are the different types of non-flowering plants, explain. So you want to write what are the three types of non-flowering plants and within what are their characteristics. So with that you want to write. And question number 24, differentiate gymnosperms and angiosperms. So you want to make a tabular column and you want to just differentiate this angiosperms and gymnosperms.